In this video, you will learn how Navy SEALs get themselves to push their boundaries and do the hardest things possible in life using the 40% rule. And the idea comes from the book Living with a SEAL by Jesse Itzler. Now, Jesse Itzler is a fascinating character. He's the founder of Marquis Jets, Zico Coconut Water, owner of the NBA team Atlanta Hawks, and he's an all-around badass, hugely successful entrepreneur, and he's constantly pushing himself to do great things. But his life changed forever one day. He was running a 100-mile race as part of a 6% relay team in San Diego. And in that race, he noticed an interesting guy. This guy was running the race all by himself. This is the kind of race where you have to bring your own supplies. So Itzler and team brought all sorts of supplies, tents, masseuse, food, etc. But this guy who was running all by himself, all he had was a folding chair, a bottle of water, and some crackers. So Jesse Itzler was really intrigued by this guy. And during the race, this guy who was at 260 pounds, at mile 70, he had broken all the small bones in both his feet and his kidney was damaged, but he kept on running and he finished the race. As Jesse Itzler later found out, his name was David Goggins and he was a former Navy SEAL. So Jesse Itzler was really impressed by this guy. He wanted to learn from him. So he invited the SEAL to come live with him, to come live with his family for a month, because Itzler really wanted to push his comfort zones. So this is what happened on the first day. The SEAL asked Itzler, how many push-ups can you do? Itzler could do 8 push-ups at the time. And then he took a break for 30 seconds and he did 6, struggling. And then he took another break for 30 seconds and he did 3 more. And at that time, his arms were totally done. His chest was totally done. The SEAL said, we're not leaving here until you do 100 push-ups. And one by one, Jesse Itzler got 100 push-ups done. And on that day, Itzler learned a huge lesson. We are capable of so much more than we think we are. We have so much more in our reserve tank than we think we do. The SEAL would always tell him, when your mind is telling you that you are done, you are only 40% done. The SEAL had a motto, if it doesn't suck, we don't do it. And that was his way of forcing himself to get uncomfortable every single day so he would grow. Now, here's the thing about the 40% rule. You can give or take a little bit on the 40%, but take the example of a marathon. Most people hit a wall at around mile 12 to 16, but they still find a way to finish the race. 95% of the people will finish the race. So where's that extra 50 to 60% coming from? The brain is saying, I'm done, I don't want to continue, but there is a bigger power inside of you that's saying, I will get to the finish line. So we all have that bigger power inside of us that pushes us past that 40% zone. The question is, will you tap into that power and make your life a great one? Now, if you learned something new about pushing your limits, about pushing your boundaries in this video, please share it with someone who might benefit from it. I'm sure there's someone in your life today who needs to hear this message.